Hello world! State-sponsored hackers have been compromising iPhones by hiding malware in images and then just sending those images to the victim. But it gets worse, because this critical vulnerability affects a hell of a lot more than just iOS. This is really pretty bad. The root of the problem? WebP, an image format that has a bit of a history of being hated. Google developed WebP back in 2010 with the aim of it becoming the #1 image format used on the internet. These things have better compression than JPEGs, support for transparency like PNGs, and can be animated like GIFs. On paper, WebP is awesome, but if you've ever downloaded a WebP image, you've probably had a bad experience, because other than major browsers, hardly anything seems to support them. For the longest time, no Adobe software worked with them. On top of that, you couldn't even open them natively in Windows, so you were forced to open them in Chrome. And they're not even compatible with Google Docs, despite Google quite literally having developed the image format. It's a strange situation, but instead of joining the long list of projects killed by Google, WebP has doubled in popularity over the past year, and support for them is getting better. Adobe software now works with them, as well as the Windows Photos app, finally. But someone else also added support for WebP images, the world's leading spyware developer, loved by governments worldwide, NSO Group. These guys discovered a vulnerability in the way WebP images are handled on iPhones. They figured out that they could hide malicious code within a WebP image, which would then run on a victim device when the image was displayed. To exploit this in practice, NSO Group created something that researchers are calling BlastPass, an exploit chain which first exploits Apple Wallet to create a special pass, which contains that malicious WebP image. Then, this pass is shared with the victim via iMessage, and as soon as they receive it, the malicious code hidden in the image is executed, with the victim being totally unaware of what just happened. And in order to monetize BlastPass, NSO Group bundled the exploit in their infamous spyware suite Pegasus. Pegasus is simply put the Rolls-Royce of spyware. Screenshots leaked a couple years back revealed that once it's installed on your phone, Pegasus can track your location, read your messages, emails and call logs, and activate your microphone and camera. Pretty much everything you'd want in advanced spyware, making it the go-to choice for authoritarian governments worldwide. But unfortunately for NSO Group, they're going to have to come up with a new exploit, because after a victim, who isn't being named, suspected that they'd been hacked, they sent their iPhone to be analysed by Citizen Lab, who discovered the vulnerability, reported it to Apple, and the bug was patched. But the story doesn't end there, because this vulnerability in WebP images isn't actually an iOS-specific problem, but rather the vulnerability exists in pretty much all software which supports WebP images, because the root of the problem is libwebp, the library that Apple and pretty much everyone uses in order to handle the WebP image format. So the list of software goes way beyond just iOS. There's Chrome, Discord, Microsoft Teams, Slack, Skype, GIMP, Signal, and even Tor. I mean, the list of software is likely in the millions, all of which were made potentially vulnerable to a very lucrative attack vector. I mean, would you suspect an image you received in a phishing email would be malicious? To make matters worse, Apple made the fatal error of not publicly reporting the vulnerability's root cause as being in that library which everyone uses, but rather Apple just made it seem like it was an iOS problem. Google, when they found out about the bug, did the exact same thing. They patched their own software, but didn't give everyone else a proper heads up. Thanks to Apple and Google, we had a situation where weeks after a bug was first disclosed, the vulnerability was still present in the latest versions of stuff that millions of developers use, which is particularly bad when the vulnerability is confirmed as being actively exploited. However, luckily, this vulnerability, which is a buffer overflow, is quite difficult to exploit, so script kiddies aren't really going to have much luck with this one. And apart from NSO's Pegasus spyware, there aren't any other publicly known instances of this actually being used in the wild. And obviously I'm only able to make this video because the screw-up has been well publicised, and so it's now been rectified, so I guess we can all breathe a collective sigh of relief. Companies like NSO Group find vulnerabilities like this thanks to their teams of highly paid hackers. In NSO's case, it's thought they have 750 employees. Alternatively, critical vulnerabilities can simply be bought from traders, which is totally legal, by the way. I mean, if Apple's $1 million bug bounty for responsibly disclosing a zero-click exploit isn't enough for a security researcher, they can always turn to the dark side. A Russian zero-day vulnerability platform recently put out an open offer of $20 million for iOS zero-click exploits. That is, if you're okay with putting something like this in the hands of governments. As for something that won't cost you $20 million, today's sponsor, Akamai Connected Cloud. Akamai Connected Cloud is your Swiss Army knife for cloud computing. These guys can handle everything cloud, and they're giving you a $100 60-day credit just to get started. One of their features that I love is their app marketplace, which makes it super easy to spin up servers with pre-configured software. Need an instance of Kali? Just configure the basics with their installer and you're done. So click the link in the description now to claim your free $100 credit. As always, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one.